With the start of a new year comes this desire to clean and purge our homes, and that is no different for our homeschools. So, this time of the year, I love to really get into my homeschool and give it a good cleaning, get rid of all of the dust, all of the clutter, all of the trash, and the junk that has accumulated over the past few months. Even though we have a small homeschool space, I still would love for it to be neat and tidy and organized. So that is something that definitely has to be done over and over again to be maintained. Today I'm going to show you guys a look at our small space homeschool room. We homeschool in the dining room, and I'm going to show you how I am cleaning it out and purging it for the new homeschool year. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Joni. I am the blogger behind simplelivingmama.com, and here on this channel we talk all about homeschooling and simple motherhood. I am an Army wife. We have 7 children and I have been homeschooling for 11 years now. So I love to share from my experiences and all the things that I have learned over the past 11 years, and this is the place for that. So today I'm going to be talking about the mid-year schoolroom refresh. So just to tell my story a little bit, since we are a military family, I have lived in, I think, 7 or 8 different houses as an adult now at this point in time. Some of those houses have had dedicated schoolrooms. I think 2 of the houses have had dedicated schoolrooms. Most of the houses have not. So we've done most of our homeschooling in the dining room, which I have no issues with doing schooling in the dining room. I think that it works out really well depending upon the layout of your house. So like, for instance, if you're always on the main level doing, cooking and all of that stuff, then it just makes sense to have your homeschool room also on that main level for us, because homeschooling is a lifestyle and it's not like we just sit down and get all of our work done in one chunk. Usually it's kind of broken up throughout the day, and it's just always been easier to do it in a main space. I will say that there's one instance where I didn't feel like that was the best, and that is actually in the house that we own. If you've been around this channel for a long time, we bought a house in 2021 with about 7 acres of land. We wanted it to be our forever home, but we knew we were going to have to move at some point because of my husband's job. We always had the hope that we would go back to that house whenever he retires, but we ended up having to move like a year after we bought it. We still hope to go back to that house. Not 100% sure when that's going to happen just yet, but we are renting it out right now. But with that said, that house has like a whole entire separate room that I called my library, and I actually really love that room. I love the idea of having somewhere to put all of the books and just a nice place to cozy up and read. I don't have that luxury here in this house. This house has very limited space. When we moved, it was heartbreaking because we struggled so hard to find a house. We were moving from our dream house to some place where we couldn't find anything that really fit our needs. So this house in particular, it's about half the size of the house that we left before. A lot of my homeschool stuff is still in storage. We've been here almost 3 years now, and there's just not room for everything. So you're going to see that. You're going to see that our dining room, which is really just one room with the living room, it's a very small space. I have learned that I just have to make do with what I have. We have some bookshelves in there, and then I keep all of the schoolwork for my 4 youngest children in that school room, dining room area. We also have a piano in there. My 3 older children have desks in their rooms, and they keep all of their books and all of their schoolwork at their desks in their bedrooms. So that's how we're making it work here in this house. I am going to be going through and doing a refresh of our dining room, schoolroom area. I actually do this probably 4 times a year, just because we need to get the trash out. I need to reorganize our caddy that has like our pencils and our colored pencils and all of that in there. This is not going to be about perfection. This is not going to be about creating a Pinterest perfect aesthetic. That's not realistic for me. I think even if I lived in the perfect house, I would not have a Pinterest perfect aesthetic just because real life is messy and having a lot of kids is messy and it's way too much work to try to keep up a facade. So I'm not even into that at all. But we do have space and I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you what we're working with. I'm going to show you how I'm just cleaning it out and sprucing it up and getting ready for the rest of our homeschool year. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you around our little dining room space. This is the bookshelf area that is in our homeschool room. These shelves actually came from our last house, so they're like a little piece of that house that's here with us. I love that. This is the space. It's not a large space. We do have the dog kennel in here because there is nowhere else to put it. I have some maps. This space over here is where I keep some of my younger kids' school books and some binders and some math boxes. So this is definitely a small space, but we make it work. So I decided to start with these bookshelves. Like I said, these bookshelves came from our previous house. These are not the only bookshelves in this house. I do have bookshelves in my room, and my kids have their own bookshelves as well. But this is where I like to keep some of our books. I keep them organized by subject. It's not perfectly organized. It could be a little bit better, but as you can see, it was pretty dusty up there. So we got rid of all of the dust. I made sure that I got rid of some of the books that I didn't want in our library anymore, dusted everything off, and put everything back. Kind of tried to organize it a little bit, but we don't necessarily access these books all of the time. They're just there whenever I need to pull them out for a particular subject or a particular reading that we're going to do. These are the books that I decided that we didn't need in our house anymore, so they're going to be going to a little free library. It's always good to just get rid of some things if you are never planning on using them. So over here in this space is where I keep our caddy with all of our pencils and everything. We have some Yodo cards that we just got for Christmas. And these are sort of like work boxes for my younger kids. Like I said, my older kids have their stuff in their own rooms, and then this is where we keep the younger kids' workbooks. First thing I decided to do was clean out that caddy. I mean, this thing is never going to stay organized, but it is nice to go in there and just pull everything out every once in a while and put it all back where I think it should go. So I'm getting rid of broken pencils, broken colored pencils, anything that we don't need anymore, tiny little stumps of pencils. I mean, you can find all kinds of stuff in here. I do have a little one that's helping me as well. We're going to go through all of that, and then I'm going to put it all back in an organized fashion. So I have one little compartment for pencils, one little compartment for colored pencils. I keep the scissors in one area, I keep the pens in another area, and then I keep all of our paint brushes and paint supplies in another area. And it's just nice to have everything separated like that. Now, my kids do also have individual pencil boxes, so when we're homeschooling on the go, they can take those with them. But for the most part, this is where they're pulling from to get their pencils and their colored pencils throughout the day. Also, a note, while I am doing all of this, I am keeping track of things that I need to refresh and rebuy. So we definitely need some more colored pencils. I think we're already completely out of glue. Different things like that. I'm keeping like track of what I need to purchase to finish out this homeschool year. Now this is where I keep my preschoolers' work in this work box. This work box started out as like a spelling box when we used the Good and the Beautiful, and it just kind of has evolved into where I keep I still have some of the spelling supplies in there, but I also keep a lot of her preschool stuff in there. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to throw away like the puzzles that are missing tons of pieces, and just give it a nice little refresh for her. And she will enjoy having a nice work box. So she's 4 years old. She likes to have her own work. Everybody else in the house has their own work, so she can't be left out. Even though I don't start formal schooling until my kids are around 6, it's fine. She enjoys doing this stuff, and it gives her something to do while I am teaching the other kids as well. So this is our rolling cart. I have had this cart for several years now. Honestly, I could probably stand to get a new one because this one is getting kind of broken down. But I do like to use this cart just to hold extra supplies. The top shelf is where I keep a lot of my teacher's manuals and my portfolio, my planner, everything that I use to plan for the school year is kept there on the top shelf. And then the two shelves on the bottom, I just keep extra supplies like the hole punch, and then the spines for my binding machine, some extra crayons, and some extra paints. So it's always good to go through all of that and just sort of give it a refresh as well and throw away things that we don't need anymore or that aren't any good anymore. A couple of my girls wanted to get started on some of the activity books that they got for Christmas, so I'm all for that. They wanted me to show you guys what their activity books are, and they were really just excited to get started with those. I did end up going through the other bins down below and just kind of cleaning those out a little bit. There wasn't much in there that needed to be taken out, so that was fine, but I kind of fixed it. We've had that little tiered shelf thing for years now, and I just keep using it, and it works okay for our family. So the next area that I needed to tackle was this cabinet area. This is like the catch-all area in our homeschool. Things just get piled up on this little countertop, but it's always good to take a little bit of time to go through and put things away that don't belong there anymore. I do like to keep books that we are currently using on display here on this countertop, as well as our morning basket. We also have our home pod there, which is where I play all of our music. So it just makes for a nice little area to keep all of our school stuff. So I'm going to go through our morning basket. There's not a whole lot that needs to be done here. I just need to take out some of the things that we've already finished. And in a couple of days, I'm going to finish my refresh by adding in new morning time menus and a new morning time like booklet that has all of our hymns and folk songs and all of that stuff in there. But yeah, right now I'm just going to go through. There's some artwork in there that needs to be pulled out and different things like that. I do also have a whiteboard here in this space that you can see a little bit of. This is my first year having a large whiteboard like this, and I actually really like it because I am able to write different Bible verses or just like different little bits of information up there for the kids for them to copy into their notebooks. So I did a video about our School Nest notebooks a few weeks ago that I'll link to, but I've really been enjoying having a whiteboard here in this space, and I love making it all nice and tidy for the new homeschool year. So here's what it looks like now that it's kind of picked up a little bit. We do have an ancient pencil sharpener over there that I need to probably find a new home for, but here is what the space looks like, mostly cleaned up. I thought you guys probably wanted to see what is actually in this cabinet, and yes, I know it looks a mess, but I know what everything is in here. It's just like extra curriculum, extra books, a sensory bin, my binding machine, my laminating machine, and things like that. I will end up cleaning that out at the end of the year. And that is it for cleaning out this little homeschool space. When you have a small space, it doesn't take a ton of time to clean it out and get it refreshed. So I did do a little bit of work on the one little blue cabinet you saw at the beginning of the video. I forgot to film it, but there wasn't a lot that needed to be done there either. Everything is now nice and tidy. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I am so looking forward to sharing more about homeschooling and simple motherhood here on this YouTube channel. So I invite you to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.